This video series has been filmed at Parker Hannifin Manufacturing in Barnstaple in the UK. This is a manufacturing site certified to IATF 16949. The scope includes the design and manufacture of valves, manifolds, connectors, regulators, and supporting ancillary equipment in corrosion-resistant materials for automotive and non-automotive applications. This series simulates several scenarios in an IATF 16949 audit. Watch this video and see if the auditor is undertaking an effective audit. So Lewis, you know that I'm here to do the IATF 16949 audit.
Yep.
And in accordance with your process flow chart, I want to start looking at the receiving of material. Okay. Can you maybe just give me a quick overview of what types of things do you receive?
We receive bar stocking, which is behind you, and then we receive stuff from our subcontractors, which could be anything from manifold bodies, fitting parts, tubing, basically.
Right, okay. So I want to look at the bar stock.
Yep.
Yeah. And I believe you've recently received this delivery.
Yesterday, yeah.
Can you just walk me through the checks that you do when you've received a delivery?
So first thing we would do is basically check all our certification, which is done here from our supplier. So basically we would get the label from the next bar.
So yeah, could we take this one maybe?
So basically the next thing we would do is basically match this label. So
and what about traceability?
Traceability, they've all got heat codes, which is a HCT system.
Yeah.
It's an internal system, which you can see here. The supplier will give us a reference to that code. So
which code have we got on
this?
This
ticket here is for 1.312. It says it should be I49H, which is a mirror 11 material.
So that's the traceability number.
That's the traceability for that particular bar.
Right. And how do we know whether you can accept that?
On this system here, an internal one, we would enter that number into our system, of which it will go green. You have relevant information here on the size, the part number, and the spec down the bottom.
Right. So that spec is
MO11-1, which is a 316-1.
So it's 316.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the significance then of that turning green? Why is that turned green?
It means it's approved on our system and okay for use. If it goes any other colour like red, it means we can't put it away and it has to be put aside and the issue to be addressed.
Yeah. And when I think you also... I read in the procedure that you have the green, is it orange and red? What does orange signify?
Orange means the certification's been uploaded to our system, but it's waiting for our quality department to approve the cert, meaning we still can't put it away until it's been approved and okay for use.
And I'm seeing the quality guys a bit later in the audit to find out how they do that certificate check. So this one's turned green.
Yes.
What happens next?
That means now we can basically get the label, make sure everything matches up. So you basically, the size, you've got a cast number there. You see the two cast numbers are the same.
That matches,
Mirror 11 material. And then a reference number there, which is the supplier reference, which is Z117214.
Yeah.
So that all matches. So we know that bar's what it is. So the next thing we do then is open the product, and then we would check to see what's on the product as well to make sure the number does.
So can we do that on this one? Could you open that for me? Right, and what are we looking for?
This one here,
then?
all this bar has got row marks on it. I don't know
where
so basically it's all got a row mark on it. As you see there, it says 149H. So it matches the reference they've given us and what we see on the paperwork. So we know that's the right material we're putting away. Then we would, after that, we'll fully strip it, ready to put away in the location.
And how do we know which location?
So basically, we do pre-checks before we start putting away the bar, and we check to see the location of which we store it, of which you can see here, we've written down the locations of which we store the particular bar. So I can show you one here if you want as well.
Yeah, if you could quickly show me that.
So basically, we'll put the part number in. And on here, it shows us the location we've got it. On this particular one, for the consignment, it's the one with the red.
Right.
The one without the red is our stock. The consignment is the red. So we know we pull it away with the rest of the material we've already got.
And does it give you a first in, first out principle then by this location?
Yes.
How does that work?
So basically they always pick from the rear. So basically from the rack, they always pick from the back bundle. So it replenishes that way. So they know there's a standard work basically saying, please pick the Audit bundle, which would be the one at the back. And then they work that way, and it feeds in that way.
Okay, we'll go and check that in a minute. And the other thing I'd like to check is the receiving of some of the components that you get in from suppliers as well. So we'll do that now. But no, that was very clear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In this audit, the auditor is auditing the process of receiving verification. Focus on steel bar stock received from suppliers. It was good the auditor had referred to the manufacturing process flowchart in the audit preparation. This is a requirement defined in IATF 16949 requirement 8.3.5.2 manufacturing process design output, in specific item E, which states it requires a manufacturing process flowchart layout including linkage of product, process and tooling. It was good practice that the auditor allowed the auditee an opportunity to give an overview of the process, in which the auditee explains clearly the process of receiving bar stock from suppliers. It is explained that the material traceability is important and that a system has been designed that during the booking in process, if the material certificates have been received, checked and found to be okay by QC, a green flag will be displayed, meaning that it is okay to book the material in. If orange is displayed, it means that the material certification has been received but not yet checked. And red means the certification is not acceptable, meaning in both cases the material cannot be booked into stock and needs to be quarantined. Once it is determined the materials are okay to book in, there is a check that the product identified on the paperwork from the supplier matches that on the product, and that the product location is identified from the system and the product moved to stock. The auditor questions what is the process in place to ensure stock rotation. The auditee explains that when placing the product into stock, the newest product should be placed at the front, and when picking the product, it should be picked from the rear. As this is a manual process, prone to potential human error, the auditor should take a sample of different stored product and verify the process is effective. Stock rotation relates to IATF 16949 requirement 8.5.4.1 preservation supplemental, which states the organization should use an inventory management system to optimize inventory turns over time and ensure stock rotation, such as first in, first out. It should be noted this does not mandate first in, first out, but clearly states an organization must have an effective system for optimizing inventory turns and ensuring stock rotation. Finally, it is observed the organization does not do receiving inspection, only verification of the product matching the supplied paperwork and that the material certification checks have been completed by QC. This relates to IATF requirement 8.6.4, verification and acceptance of conformity of externally provided products and services. The organisation shall have a process to ensure the quality of externally provided processes, products and services utilising one or more of the following methods. A. Receipt and evaluation of statistical data provided by the supplier to the organisation. B. Receiving inspection and/or testing, such as sampling based on performance. C. Second-party or third-party assessments or audits of supplier sites when coupled with records of acceptable delivered product conformance to requirements. D. Part evaluation by a designated laboratory. E. Another method identified and agreed with the customer. This requirement gives an organisation options to decide on the level of receiving inspection or verification based on risk. So let's summarise. In auditing any manufacturing process, from material receipt to product dispatch, auditors should make reference to the manufacturing process flowchart, PFMEA and control plan related to the process being audited. Where defined as a requirement by the organisation, auditors should verify the relevant material certification and traceability records that these are received prior to product acceptance. When auditing product storage, it should be verified effective processes are in place for optimizing inventory turns over time and ensuring stock rotation, which could be a first in, first out system.